Hi guys, my name is Destiny and I'm going to be showing you some of the cool things I got in the ADCES conference. So they gave us this really cool tote bag and we were able to fill in a lot of cool free samples that we got from the different vendors that were there. Before I get started though, I want to show off my badge that I had to have during the conference, and this was my very first conference, so this is really exciting, especially as a first generation college student and coming from the Hispanic culture. I think it's really empowering to kind of bring education into our communities just because it brings inclusivity and more equity within our healthcare system. So I learned so much in this conference, and just not only the free goodies are pretty good, but the overall conference as well are very educational. And I took so much back home with me to California, and I was sharing all these different resources that I had no clue were available to the diabetic community. So here's my CDN pin and then another pin, and it says I speak the language of caring. Super cool. And yeah, this is our tote bag that we got. I'll just show off a little bit of what I got. So we got brochures. I actually got the machine for this. So what the HID, I think it's HIDOW. So it's like a pain-free muscle nerve stimulator. I ended up buying a bundle to give back to my family just because we have a lot of nerve problems within my family. So I thought it was a really good idea to buy. So because of the conference, I was able to actually look into stuff like that, and it was accessible because it was even at a discounted price when we had went to the conference. So my brother, my mom, and I are actually using it currently, so it's pretty awesome. And I learned like really cool things about what we can do when we have our low glycemic episodes. So this, I didn't know that gels were a thing until the recent movie of Purple Hearts, but I actually got to see it in real life. So I didn't know there was actually glucose gels that were available. So that was really cool to figure out within the conference. Another cool thing that I knew about, or what I learned about, is sleep apnea, and that's actually something that I thought was really interesting because it related to one of my family members that I think has sleep apnea. So some of the signs and symptoms, I was able to kind of like, oh, maybe I could share this information with that family member so they could look into getting the help that they need. And then the JDRF gave some really cool goodies away. They gave a cool tote bag. I'm thinking pretty small, but it fits a lot of stuff. It was able to fit a lot of different goodies. Let me actually move this to the table here. And one of the best things, I already ate the cookie. I was guilty of this. I couldn't say it for the video. Joy days. So it was really colorful, and it brought my attention that there could be very good sugary free snacks, and it doesn't spike your number. So it's 3 grams of sugar, and it is 10 grams net carbs and 5g fiber. Again, sorry I ate them, so you couldn't really see the actual cookie itself. I know I have another sample of the cookie right here. This is all chocolate chipped again. So they have variety options. So I didn't know there was such thing as a healthy cookie, and now I do. I was so used to eating Oreos and Chips Ahoy, and now I could resolute to something else now. So again, the conference just highlights more things I didn't even know that was available in my community. And then I got this cool glucose bag where you could put medicines and that fun stuff that we need as diabetics. And they were promoting the ADCES in Houston, Texas for the 2023. So you actually got seeds, thyme seeds. Pretty interesting. Again, so like conferences just kind of like spread the education and awareness that there's resources for diabetics, and it's just really great to know that I got the opportunity to actually go in person this year. And then the American Diabetes Association gave me their card. Got some cool, just regular, cool little freebies from different vendors. Yeah. And then this cute little, from the sleep apnea tabling, I got this cute little sheet. And then the cool thing too, that at first when I was diagnosed as a diabetic, I was really nervous to kind of start thinking about injections and insulin injections and I did not know there were so many different resources within the needles that um, my doctor has never awarded me. I know at first I had really thick needles, and I remember at a time it took like months for me to just take the pain of getting the thick needles when in reality there's actually really thin needles. So Owen, Mumford, Unifine Ultra, these are really thin needles. And there was a lot of demonstrations that they were giving that it it showed that you could still transfer the insulin through these thin needles without having to be in pain. So, like I said, it's really really interesting to know there's so many different things out there, and some more seeds. It's really really fun. Yeah, I truly enjoyed this experience, and I what I take with this whole experience, this in person conference, that in order to advocate for your community, so um, we really need to be more educated on the resources that are there in our community. And in order for us to do that, we have to connect as a community and just share these different resources, from food to medicines to new technologies and even just therapies as well. Once we're able to kind of connect these resources together through the conferences or through just in general these kind of events, it really brings the awareness out there, and it kind of just keeps spreading these good ripple effects of knowledge and power and empowerment. So walking out of this conference, I feel like I'm more confident in helping my community, especially as a new CDN chapter leader at my campus. I'm able to spread awareness, and not only that, more knowledge to my communities, especially those that don't have easy access to these resources. So I'm really grateful that the College of Diabetes Network had invited me to this and just really opened my eyes in just the realm of diabetes. Because as a diabetic, I know that I see the world differently, but now as an advocate for the diabetic community and attending this conference, it's really shaped my whole outlook of life. And even as I enter my master's program, there's a project that we have to kind of analyze the problem within our society, and I'm going to choose diabetes as that issue, that inequity that we see within the diabetes community, and how we could address that and make the world a better place by giving these resources to everybody within the community, especially with the type 1 and type 2 diabetic community. So again, I hope you guys like this video and me sharing some of the goodies that I got within the conference. And hopefully I was able to bring an insight of kind of like what I got to see at the conference in Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you, and have a nice rest of your day, everyone.